All right, let's go back to the MCG last night. It wasn't all about the election. This was absolutely fantastic. I've got to say, without getting into a whole debate about whether we should have a grand final at night or twilight or whatever, this was a prime example of what you can do at night.
Yeah, the ceremony was great. Dreamtime at the G. And well done to the Richmond players who rehearsed this over the last couple of weeks. So they had to get together to rehearse it, to make sure it worked well. And I thought it was brilliant. Whether it's the Dreamtime, whether it's Anzac Day, any other function we have. I think the AFL and the AFL players do this better than anybody in the world. Congratulations to everyone involved.
I find this, just as it is quite moving on Anzac Day and Anzac Eve, I find that quite moving, actually. I think it's absolutely beautiful what they did. And what the Richmond Footy Club did there is to take part in the choreograph side of it was absolutely beautiful is the only word I can use.
And to have players about to go and play the game, part of that too, and key parts of it. It's just not something you see outside of that moment.
Yeah. So well done to all involved. Richmond and Essendon and the AFL in general.
TJ, on field they're evolving as a footy side as well. They won premierships based on their surge footy, pressure, lock the ball in their forward line, frontal pressure. They don't do that as well anymore, but it's this dynamic playoff half-back. And I want to look at how hard these Richmond players work getting up the field. So there's Rioli. He was in the play there. So there's great pressure from Boston. So the ball, the way they can just spit that ball off. So there's Rioli, there's Castagna and there's Bolton. All of them high up the field. So if they just bomb the ball in, they'd get outnumbered. But their ability to work down the ground, Castagna, he was on the half-back flank. Rioli was actually on the half-back flank. Get back involved. The work rate of Richmond is phenomenal. Here's another one. So the ball goes in. They're so good at getting an extra behind the ball. Richmond, it's normally Vlosten. Dion Presti's involved. What's the work rate of these guys? Dion has been huge the last 2 weeks being back. Gets it again. Ball goes from one end to the other. Straight down to Jack Revolt, quicker than any other side does it, TJ. So Damien Hardwick, full credit to him. He's evolved with a younger, different list. They haven't got the pressure players in that forward 50 anymore, but they're doing it a different way.
All right, so what about the Bombers? How did they respond? We know that when they got a touch-up by the Western Bulldogs, they came out the following week and had a real stirring win over Hawthorn. Last week against the Sydney Swans, they needed to respond this week.
Well, they're a response team. That's the issue for them. I want to go back to On the Couch on Monday with Dyson Heppel when he was asked about Matthew Lloyd's comments on this show last week.
Lloydie's got every right to say that, no doubt. Everyone has their own opinion, that's fine. But what does he want Dylan to plough through someone, give away a free kick, give away a 50-metre penalty and another goal? You know, this day and age, free kicks are given away so quickly. And I think that the hardness and the firmness and what you're talking about in being a nice football team, it's not about giving away free kicks or showing full-blown aggression, or it's when the ball's there to be won. That's what we want to stand for.
And that's what I'd rather see, when the ball's there to be won, not the clips from Lordo showing how easy it is to transition the ball. So let's look at that. And Dyson Heppel can say that they're not going to respond. Well, they did. So don't ever let players tell you they don't listen to the media, because this is purely on the back of media conjecture and media criticism that they produce this. Now, let's see if they do this next Sunday against Port Adelaide in the graveyard shift in Adelaide, because we haven't seen this. I think it's a little bit embarrassing that they've come out and responded just on the pure media.
Oh, they can't win.
But they have to respond,
They can't win, Kane. So if they hadn't have done it, you would have lampooned them. Now they have done it, and you say it's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing, TJ. It's round 10. Why has it taken someone in the media to highlight an issue for them to respond?
I'm with Kane on this. I felt, TJ, for what it's worth, it was a little bit fake last night. As though they were just waiting for a moment to do that. Or to just go back to this time last week when you sat in that same chair.
Look at this from Kelly. What's this doing?
But they were in the game last night, though.
Well, they
was it on the back of what they were doing, getting themselves
into it? They kicked 7 goals.
But I'm with TJ. You can't win. If they don't do that, you're saying, well, we didn't see a response from us. And if they do it, you're saying, you know, the response is too late.
But what did it result in? It's still got the same outcome.
Mate, they responded. They responded
because
accordingly.
Of our man saying something.
No, seriously, you've got to. No, come on, fellas. You just back off a little bit, because I mean, they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't.
Did you like that?
I liked it better than what I saw last week. I think they were a much better team yesterday than they were last week. And I'd rather see that than what I saw the week before, yeah.
Did you realise when you said what you said last week that it was going to transpire the way it did?
No, not at all. I just spoke passionately as not being intimidated and walked all over like Dylan Shield was. that they can't have that anymore. And I think that was a starting point. You're right, Kane. We'll see what happens next week and the week after. Not just with remonstrating, but how they attack the ball. I thought their pressure around the ball was much, much better than what it was the week before. And you've got to start somewhere, and there was a little tick on last night.
Yep. Concerns for Richmond out of the game with injuries to players who've had them in recent times. The main one here is Tom Lynch, who is putting together some sort of season, but twinged the hamstring there, the left hamstring at that stage of the game, and finished the game with an ice pack on that particular leg. And also Kane Lambert, who is only 3 matches back, and such a crucial part of what they do, is also out with, again, hip soreness. So they'll be missing at least 1 match each, and it's just a matter of how bad the diagnosis.
Worked really hard, Lambert, to get back, so it's disappointing because they're 2 really important players for them, aren't they, on the charge they're having at the moment. There's a lot to get down about sometimes, injuries, but there's a lot to be happy about. I showed David Roden a couple of weeks ago how happy he was, but this made me happy last night. Maurice Rioli kicking goals and just playing with excitement. I mean, just the smile on his face last night, any time he gets near the footy, is infectious. His players love him. And I look at the stats this morning and I was shocked that he only had 10 disposals. It felt like a game where he had a lot more than that. He got up the field, he was instrumental, he was busy. A really good game by that young man last night.
That's where we should never rely on stats, should we?
Exactly.
In terms of someone's performance.